And Junsok is a professor of economics from the Catholic University of Korea.
The new president, Jae-myung, he has traditionally been known as a more liberal candidate, more interested in redistribution rather than growth. But during the presidential campaign, he turned perhaps a bit more toward the center. And that may be because right now Korea is suffering from low growth, and the public demanded that the government care more about growth.
As you said, the new president is looking for growth, and the Bank of Korea has downgraded the 2025 growth outlook for the country to just 0.2%. So how much of this reflects the short-term political turbulence in the country versus deeper structural economic reforms and problems?
The difference between the growth rate estimate that we have versus the potential growth rate, that is, I think, attributable to the short-term problems, the political turmoil that we had since the martial law and the election. So some of that should be stabilized, but also the uncertainty that we are getting from the United States, from the Trump administration, dealing with tariffs mostly, but also some turbulence in the international financial markets.
And speaking of tariffs, the U.S. President Donald Trump has raised steel and aluminium tariffs to 50% today. So how will that impact South Korea's export-driven economy?
Because the tariffs are going up and because the prices in the U.S. will fall, I think Korea will experience some decline in exports of steel and aluminum to the United States. But every other country is being hit with the same tariffs. From what we hear from the United States about steel and aluminum production, they do not have that much of a spare capacity right now, and they already have some of the highest steel prices in the world. So the damage to Korea, the reduction in exports, may not be as much as we fear, but we'll have to wait and see.
And let's talk about his foreign policy. Lee is known for a more pragmatic foreign policy that is maintaining stable ties with China and a strengthening dialogue with North Korea. So do you expect this shift to affect economic relations with major partners like the US, Japan, and China?
Well, because Korea is an exporting economy, we depend so much on exports. And further, because of the, let's say, unique situation we have with North Korea, we do need to maintain balanced relationship between China, United States, Japan, and Europe. We have to maintain a balanced relationship between all players if he is to not worsen the current diplomatic problems that we see in not only in economics but in North and South Korea relationship.